Life on Fire. Welcome back, everyone. We haven't done a podcast in a very long time. It's been, I think, a year.
Yes, our last podcast was last July. So we were like, okay, we're settled now in our lovely home in Quebec. So let's get on it.
Yeah, it was hard to podcast on the road. We were doing the Vancast, but...
Yeah, because when I looked at when we started podcast, we started in 2023. And that was kind of just before we went on the road. So the first few podcasts were in our old place in Ontario, in Southern Ontario. And our first podcast was like The Root of Rejection, which is one of my favorites, actually. I really liked that one. And we had our desk, just different setups. Then we tried to do like podcasting in different places as we went, like Adventures with Brody and Deidre.
But now we should be able to get to a regular rhythm.
We got to schedule it in.
Because we're here in Quebec. So you guys might see our faces more if you watch us.
So yeah, we're excited. Something new, something fresh. And also what's been going on for us is we've been in a transition season. So do you want to share a little bit about that, Lev?
Yes, we've officially launched Life on Fire. So you guys know, obviously, we had the podcast, but now the ministry actually is called Life on Fire.
Yeah, so we started, like Life on Fire kind of felt like our heartbeat, like being passionate for God and encouraging others to be passionate for God and being authentic and sharing our life. So that's why we did the podcast years ago. But then the last few, I don't even know now. It feels like time. So it's almost been a year that we've been in Quebec, but there was a year season where we were really feeling a stirring from God to step out with something new as a couple and just step into owning like life on fire and what that means for us in ministry and the things that we do.
Yes, it started getting very uncomfortable where we just knew we had to be obedient to what God was telling us to do and to step out in faith.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can kind of resonate with that. There's some seasons where it's like you were comfortable before and you're just fine, but God starts stirring you with his spirit because he wants you to step out, that the grace is lifted and it's time now for you to step into something new.
Yeah, and it's excited. We're excited. And we also just want to thank all of our monthly partners and people that have really just supported us financially, prayed for us, encouraged us, and have just been like there.
I'm like, always think of like the wind in our sails that we can set sail and go. And really, we just love that you guys are beside us in it, running the race with us and encouraging us. And it's been amazing. So yes, it's been a year since we did a podcast. The last podcast that we did was about your race, running for the one, which actually you're doing year 2.
Yes, running for the one, year 2.
You're going to do that July 3rd.
I can't believe I'm doing this again because after the last one, I was like, I'm never going back to those mountains.
That's a tricky one. Like that's a challenging one in Quebec with the mountains.
Yes.
You sprained your ankle.
Yes, and you have to start at nighttime.
That makes it really tricky. This time I'm actually going to be with you, which is exciting. And just kind of processing over the year is, I don't know, months can go fast, weeks can go fast. The year, I'm like, wow, we arrived in June 2025 to an Airbnb, met some awesome friends.
Yes, which became our great friends.
And we were on Bienvenue Street, Welcome Street, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So now here we are. And I can overthink. Like, Brody knows that.
Yeah. Deidre's a thinker.
I am a deep thinker, a deep processor, a deep heart person. And sometimes I'm like, what have we done in a year? What's been going on?
Guys, have you ever done this? Like looked back on your year? You'd be surprised how many things you've actually done.
It's true. And we can forget. We can also forget because it just keeps going. But if we actually save things in our calendars, whether it's a paper calendar or calendar on our phone, or I journal, so that really helps me keep track of kind of things, is I was feeling discouraged. And I felt like God just whispered to me when I was journaling, just reflect on the things that you have done this year, big or small. And I wrote a whole list out of things we've done.
Wow. Deidre thought she was going to learn French in 1 year.
I wanted to be farther along. But what I'm realizing is process. So I know more than I did a year ago.
Yes.
That is to be celebrated.
Because when we first moved here, you had anxiety even going into the grocery store.
It is true. And I don't know why, because we had visited Quebec before, but then it felt like more real of like, now I live here and I just should know. So yeah, I did. If I'm honest, when we first moved, I really felt just overwhelmed, like, oh, a big shift and going out. It's not that people were rude or unkind. It's I had a pressure.
No, people are actually amazing,
Very
especially
kind.
when you attempt French.
Yeah,
They're
they-
so helpful. We
they-
get French lessons at like so many stores.
They want to help you. Like the other day we were at Costco and I forgot the word for box. And then I said the word I thought he said and then they corrected me and smiled. And I just was like, merci.
Yes, we're weird English people.
So yeah, we really have had so many people in so many different settings, whether it's restaurants, the gym, like if we just ask like, hey, how do I say that word? Or did I say that correct? They're happy to help us. Which
Like the treadmill.
tapis,
Tapis.
if I'm saying that right. And then learning that the rower is rameur. I hope I'm saying that right to my French friends.
Guys, Deidre has a better accent than I do. The other day at church, some girl said, "Oh, your accent." And I'm like, okay, I don't think I was sounding
Like,
very
she
French.
She liked it. You're trying though. That's the point, is trying.
Mm-hmm.
So now I can think from, if I think of a year ago coming to Quebec and being here now, is that I don't have the same nervousness going out in interactions, because I do feel confident now with greetings.
Yeah.
Like saying hi and then asking somebody how they are and then responding how
And
I am.
I love how you sing. Deidre sings when she talks.
It's just because I like maybe hold bonjour, like bonjour.
Yeah,
Like,
whose is
you
better?
know.
Bonjour. Oh, no, that's not very good. Bonjour.
It's okay. You just kind of sing it.
Deidre sounds very beautiful.
Sometimes the French language does sound like singing because it just has all like it flows together.
It's beautiful.
And the liaisons, if I'm saying that right.
If you can just get that rolling of the R, that beautiful.
So the French R
Yes.
is very different than the English R.
Mhm.
That's what, and we walked around our house trying to practice that. Is just going around a house trying to get the sound
Mhm.
because our tongue it's not used to pronouncing things in French.
Yeah.
And the French accent. So you're literally training the muscle of your tongue to try to make these sounds that in English we don't make.
So everybody that's moved to Quebec, we think you're amazing because most people we meet from other countries know 3 languages.
Yeah.
So you guys are awesome.
So we're like, we can learn a second one. We can do it. So I was just processing the year and thinking of all the things and really just not taking for granted the small things in the sense of relationships.
Mhm.
You come to a whole new place and you're meeting people, and we've just been praying the whole way, God, lead us to the people that you want us to meet. And he has been, and it's been beautiful. But it also takes time to build relationship and to build trust. So why do we always expect things to be instant and quick?
Well, that's because TV dinner.
And TV dinner isn't good.
Yeah. Like Michelini's. Anyways, I won't get into that. I never want to eat a Michelini's ever again.
It's like traumatized you.
Yeah.
So quick and fast actually usually is not enjoyable.
Mhm.
If we think of that kind of idea and analogy, when someone prepares a meal for you and they've taken the time to pick it and choose it and get the ingredients and cook it and you spend time together, that's so much more fulfilling than maybe if somebody just gave me a TV dinner and was like, okay, eat this quickly.
And is
get
it
out
just
of my house.
me? But the food is better in Quebec. Oh, everyone that has cooked this food, the restaurants, I think it's the care and the love. And we feel that also. There's a care and there's a love. So
For sharing meals and just food and enjoying food together.
yes, that's my love language. Thank you so much, everybody that has cooked me food and loved me.
So I just wanted to process a little bit about the transition, about the process of learning French, because you know what? Here's the thing is too much, even on social media, in things we always hear I was here and now I'm here. But what happened in between?
Yeah.
Like, how did you get there? And I'm pretty sure.
How did we get here?
How did we get here?
I wouldn't have really imagined this in my life, but
No, God has a
I
better
love it.
plan.
But God's plan is better than our plan.
So a lot of times I think we get discouraged because we're looking at before and after. That's how you sell things. Before and after. Look, I was this many pounds and now I'm this pounds, or I didn't have muscle. Now look at but how long did it take to get there?
Yes, actually, I just got an email from Strava. If you guys don't know what Strava is, it's a running app. And it said, congratulations, you started running in 2020.
Now it's 2026.
But if I look in 2020, I couldn't run around the block.
It's true.
So I could see the process leading up in the last 6 years to running in the mountains.
Yeah. So I'm thinking about process and the process even of transitioning how we do ministry and stepping out on our own together as a couple, and so much reflecting and praying together and processing with a few trusted friends and just really discerning with God, are you calling us to step out?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me think of when we decided to move to Quebec, or we felt a leading to move to Quebec, and we finally had unity on it together. It was a process.
Yes.
That was 3 years of really praying and
Pressing
discerning.
in. And yeah, I thought I was going to be like in Switzerland or I'm just bugging you.
But it's so beautiful here.
Yeah.
And we are enjoying it. So process in taking time in our life to sit with God and not rush.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can be bad at having like this internal rush a lot of the time. Honestly, I think it's from trauma. And just like the way I grew up in like stress and different things. So I'm working on now.
Yes, I'm more chill, and Deidre's got to get somewhere fast.
Let's get it done. Let's be like effective.
And I'm always like,
direct.
what's the rush? Where are we going? What are we in a rush for?
And literally we make up our own schedule, which I'm just like, I don't know. So like wired a certain way, and I can fall into that a lot. So now I'm trying to have moments where I pause and I stop. I can enjoy, be present. Because when we make a rushed decision, it's usually not a good decision.
No. Guys, don't just wait. Just wait it out.
Wait for it.
Especially if you want to buy something. Don't buy it right away.
Don't be impulsive.
Yeah.
We can be like spontaneous and enjoy life, but not the rush of like, it's like I think of this tide like in our society that's just like this big tide that everybody's anxious and overwhelmed that we're in the wrong spot and we're not doing enough and we're not where we're supposed to be for the age that we are and we don't have enough and all these things. But if we can pause and be still with God in small moments, it doesn't have to be hours, but small moments to actually hear his heart, like receive his heartbeat and really process with him and have clarity for the steps in our lives and the things, it's so much more fruitful.
And that's what the mornings are for. You don't want to miss the morning hours with God.
I've really found the morning, we both have our own separate kind of routines that we do in the morning. You usually get up earlier, and we both have place that we'll sit and just be with God.
Mm-hmm.
You've been reflecting on lately, it's just kind of like sitting, it's warmer out, so sitting outside on the porch in the nature.
It's just being in the presence.
Still.
You just got to sit with God and just listen. And it's amazing. Today I was sitting and listening at 6 a.m, and it was just the sound of an owl. It was me and the owl. And I was listening, looking at the different birds. And then the funniest thing was he wasn't there today. But the other day I was looking and I was like, what is that? And I seen a cat deep in the bush just staring at me on a rock. He was spending time with God too.
So you're just letting yourself be present in the moment. Yeah. Before the day starts, before the hustle and bustle of like work or our minds or social media, really, it doesn't serve us well when we start on overdrive. Mm-hmm. There's so many studies about starting your day with your phone, not the best thing.
No, you're starting in, like you guys know about fight or flight, right? Yes. You're just starting in high cortisol, high stress, high panic. It's not good for your health.
So give yourself a buffer in the morning to let your heart be still with God in whatever way. I sit and like I'll read the Bible, I'll pray, like whatever, how God's leading you in that day, but take time for it because it's I often say the world feels loud. Mm-hmm. There are many times where it's like if we're constantly listening to things, on things, watching, and we're not like present in our environment with one another. Mm-hmm.
And what does the Bible say? Guard your eyes and guard your ears, what you're letting in and what you're seeing.
It really affects us.
I'm preaching to myself.
We have to remember and we have to keep coming back to it. And that's something that we've been talking about too, is like habits. So like building healthy habits, we have to keep coming back to them.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, so say in 2020 is when you said you started running.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't keep coming back to habits to help build your running, so like running is one part of it, but there are many other things that you've learned about running over the years.
I've learned so much about my health, about rest, about balance, about recovery,
Stretching.
Oh man, it's like
healing.
Yeah.
Nutrition. Like these are all parts of running. So,
and it's basically an experiment in a way too, because you have to try and then learn and adapt and
like what works for you, like what works best for your body in running. And then even when you're training for a race, that's a different kind of training or focus than when you're just running for enjoyment. Like it's all different. So when I think about habits, like putting that kind of in there of like the running habit, there's so many things behind it. But how do we make it simple? How do we make it manageable? But we have to keep coming back to it. So whatever it is we want to do, we want to grow in our faith in a certain way, in a spiritual discipline. If I think also about our process of learning French.
Yes, we need to keep going back. Like we just went to Ontario. Since we've moved here, we went back to Ontario, I think, like three times.
Yes.
And I've noticed every time we go back, we get out of our rhythms. We're not in our normal routines, and it takes a while. Actually, it feels like a couple weeks or a week at least.
It feels like it takes like 2 weeks
to get back to our normal rhythms and routines. And French was one of them. You go back and you get lazy. Your brain gets lazy. You go back to your old patterns, your old ways.
Yeah, because when we have comfort, like comfort can be what's familiar, even though sometimes what's familiar is not comfortable.
Yeah.
It becomes uncomfortable, but it's familiar, so it's comfortable, if that makes sense to you guys. But it's like English is more comfortable for us because we grew up with English. It's easy. We just know how to communicate, like on this podcast in English. So it takes effort to choose what's not comfortable. And it's growing pains, like, and being okay with the pains of growing. So it's like every time we go back to Ontario, I'll bring the French books and different things, but I fall off of it. We fall off of it because you're not hearing the French constantly. You're not around friends that you want to speak with that speak French, which motivates you, and seeing the signs and just immersing yourself a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it's easy to not have that motivation when we travel.
And you can become discouraged.
Yes. So that's the thing about process is when we just see, I was here and now I'm here. Woo!
And we usually see that in other people, don't we? We don't see the process where.
No. Unless we actually have a relationship with someone and we're in their lives or we have hard conversations where we pray for one another, where we're like, you know what, I am feeling really discouraged right now, or what have I even done in a year? Like any of that, we miss the realness of life. So that's what I want to encourage all of you in is whatever process you're in, whether I hope all of you are in some kind of faith process and journey, whether it's processing and overcoming in your health and your well-being for your body, which has been a journey for me, whether you're learning a new language or a new skill, is don't beat yourself up on the times when it feels discouraging. Keep going.
Keep going.
Because I keep asking friends. So there was somebody that encouraged us the other day. We had visited a new church and there was a girl from Ontario and she was so excited that we were from Ontario because she came here to help with like camps, and she just said to us, she learned French.
How long did it take her?
It took her 8 years.
8 years.
To speak and to feel comfortable. But she learned French literally using resources at home. And then I felt frustrated that I want to speak more.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to have a conversation, but I've realized, I didn't even think about this, but I've realized there's so many aspects of learning a language. So there's like reading, pronunciation, comprehension, like all these different things. I'm probably missing some, and speaking and having a conversation is just a part of it. So I asked her, how did you get to feel comfortable speaking? And she was like, you have to practice. So she was living in Ontario. She said she had nobody around her that was speaking French. So what she did is literally started having chats with somebody from another province who spoke French to practice. And she said, I think like speaking and reading out loud so she would hear it So I was like, okay, we need to like up the like uncomfortability in a way. Because when you are learning something new, like, I don't know if you felt like this, Brody, but it feels like you're like a kid, like a baby.
I don't know. I always feel like a kid.
But in the sense of we just have words. Like I'm just saying French words that I know sometimes. And then my friends here are so gracious to be like, yeah, that's the word. Good job. Like I didn't even say like a full sentence. But really being strategic and coming back.
Yeah.
Keep coming back when you feel discouraged. You know, maybe take a moment, take a breath.
It's the same thing they say in recovery meetings. Keep coming back.
Keep coming back. And then figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
So Brody enjoys using the language app. I don't enjoy that.
The language app has an AI bear that you get to talk to.
That's your favorite part.
Well, it's just hilarious. I don't know. It's really weird talking to this robot bear, but
So for Brody, he really likes the interactiveness of the app. I've really enjoyed listening to a French Made Easy podcast. I also just have really been like more of like, I'm going to write out the conjugations of verbs and like start to do that. And I had a list. So this is what I did too. Here's the thing is we can try to go from 1 to 100. I'm just going to learn. I purchased a 600 most common French words that we should learn. And in it, you're supposed to do a list for a whole week. When we started it, do you remember what I did with that list? What did I do?
I have no clue.
Oh, I was like, do you remember what I did? I literally was doing a list every day.
Okay.
7
yes.
words.
Yes, you were doing a list every day.
And you were like, Deidre, I'm not retaining this information. And I was like, I just want to get through it. Like I'm trying to learn all the words right now. So I slowed down because you had some wisdom there. And now what I'm doing is every week I'm writing the words out. I'm speaking them. And then I'm bringing words that I don't understand or they're not coming as quick that I just know that that's what the word is in French. I'm bringing it to the next week. I'm like bringing them over to the next week's. So slowing down in the process so that you do it well. And that even makes me think of like working out.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I'm working out and like you're doing body weight or weights, so many people do things so fast. They just want to get it over. They want to do as many reps as they can. And I guess you would know better than me, but sometimes that is a technique to do as many as you can.
Well, if you're doing like HIIT, high interval training, but
then there's also a technique where you go slow and that builds different muscles and you really just make sure that your technique is good.
yes, you should always make sure your technique is good.
Because I think when we try to rush through things, we're going to miss stuff because we're just like frantically like, okay. So there's probably times where when you're running, you really have to check in like, how is your body feeling and how is your technique going? I'm
always, when I'm running, going back to being present and trying to enjoy the process and be with God.
So that's like a good thing, I think, for me to hold on to. Enjoy the process. Because I think sometimes if you are like me and you're kind of that type A personality that loves the list and checking things off and getting stuff done and can fall easily into finding worth from productivity, like being productive, being organized and all those things, I know it can be a gift, but we need to be careful. I need to be careful that it doesn't start to become my identity and I can pause and I can take moments. And for us, one of the rhythms that is really helpful for me that we do is taking our day of rest.
Yes.
One whole day where there's like, I'm not answering all the phone calls and doing all the emails. I'm just being present.
Yes.
With each other, with God, and we're unplugging. Those are my favorite.
And that's the key, is like learning to be present in everything we do, because a lot of the time we are looking at the destination and then we're missing the present moment in the journey.
Yeah.
And we think the destination is the place that we're going, and then we're missing that process. And we're like skipping ahead, and then we get there and we're like, but what about all of those things that we missed?
We didn't celebrate in between.
Yeah.
Like the little celebrations, just like God was like, hey, Deidre, calm yourself down. Write all the little and big things all throughout the year. And celebrate it.
Yeah. So the race, like for running, is a celebration, but I'm enjoying the process and the learning and the time I'm spending with God leading to the celebration.
And two, then process is where character gets built. So
When you fall down.
yeah, what do you do? Right? Like, what's your resilience? What's your perseverance? You know, in transition spaces where you're shifting from something that was in the past or something new, how do you do that in a God-honoring way? And
That's when we learn the most.
yeah, watching your heart. Again, here we are. We're always talking about watching your heart. Is how do we do it the best way that we can? Don't stress about perfection, but the best way that we can, really being prayerful and in the fruits of the Spirit. So just thinking about enjoyment, can we enjoy the process?
So your work that God has called you to do is in rest, is in peace. That you're not trying to rush to get somewhere, but you're enjoying the process because God has finished the work.
And He is with you in the process.
Yeah.
He is our teacher. The Holy Spirit, it says our counselor, our teacher. Jesus is our good shepherd. So all along the way, He's going to whisper revelation and insights to us. So it's just, I love paralleling things in the natural with the spiritual. Like, I often do this because I feel like it gives a understanding and a clearer picture. So little celebrations, it's like celebrating the little moments where I've gone out in the smallest conversation, like the smallest interaction that I have not spoken any English and just comprehended most of what was said and answered. Even if I just said, merci.
See? She's saying it. It sounds beautiful.
Bienvenue. Just use the words I have. And I'm like, yeah, I did it. It's so small. It's not where I want to be yet, but it's getting me to where I desire to be. So enjoying the little moments in between.
And enjoying the process of such a beautiful language that God has created, right? If He just gave it to us, which He does.
Can.
People have prayed that for us. But maybe He wants us to enjoy the process.
But then also think about in the process, the connections. Like, we're making connections with friends because we have amazing friends who are willing to help us read the Bible in French and
amazing teachers and helping. Yeah. And we're loving the friendships that are being created.
And something recently that I was like, okay, you know, keep coming back to the goal, the focus God gives you, and then make little goals to get there. So when the girl was saying you need to practice French, well, how am I going to practice French? We have so many French friends around us who I'm sure will practice with us, but I need to be really focused in that and be organized. So what I did is I decided I'm going to reach out to a few women that I know speak French, and I'm going to ask them if they will commit to speaking with me. So I'll speak to somebody once a week, 15 to 30 minutes. Like, see how that goes. So it's not going to be the same person all the time, so it doesn't feel like so much that they have to commit every week. But once a month, maybe I'm chatting with someone. So this is really like focus. And I feel nervous. I don't know how it's going to go. Maybe it will be so awkward.
It's going to go awesome.
But it's going to help me grow and learn.
You're stepping out.
Stepping out in faith.
You're doing it.
So we just want to encourage you that, you know, whatever God is leading you in, maybe you're in a space where God's leading you to something new, to step out in faith. Is sometimes people can look at us and they can just think, oh, they're like faith warriors.
No,
they're so strong.
I honestly, half the time I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just stepping out and trying.
In trust.
Yeah. And just having a childlike faith and being God's child.
And that was our step of faith coming to Quebec. It's like, no, we don't have French yet, but if God has called us here, He can help us learn. So what is it in your life that God's asking you to just take that one step of faith and trust Him with it? And where can you start to enjoy the process? Whatever process you're in with God, how can you just be present with Him in that and start to enjoy that? So we want to encourage you. Process is real life. It's messy. It's authentic, but this is how we grow and learn. And this is how we become more and more the people that God has made us to be.
Yeah. And encourage you guys to look back, like what you did the other day, Deidre. Reflect on the last year. And it's fun to look back. Maybe you're like, wow, a lot of things have happened. You can have some grace on yourself in the last year. Or you can be like, you know what? In the year to come, I want to learn this new thing.
And then little steps every day.
Mm-hmm.
Habits get built by little steps every day. Consistency. Just keep coming back.
Yeah.
Don't make it unrealistic. Make it realistic. Enjoy the process. I'm talking to myself too. Brody can remind me to enjoy the process and not beat myself up. And we got one life with God to live. Like, let's be present with him every moment of it.
And live it fully alive.
Yeah. So we are excited to see you guys next time on the other podcasts that we do.
And if there's even anything that you guys want us to talk about our podcast, feel free to comment because we're going to be doing more.
Yes.
So guys, thank you so much for all of your encouragement and prayers. I'm going to say a quick prayer for you. Holy Spirit, I thank you for my friends, Lord. God, I thank you for their lives. God, may they live their lives fully alive and fully on fire. I pray, God, that you would help them be present in the moment. And as we talked about, enjoy the process. And I pray, Lord, that you help them continue just to take those steps, Lord, and make those healthy habits. And I just bless you in the name of Jesus. God bless you guys. We'll see you soon.